Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by a special guest. You know him. You love him. He's been here before. Andy Vega, my brother.
Oh, Danny, my brother.
Andy, my brother.
Danny, my brother. It's good to be here, man.
Thanks for, this is cool. You're in LA to do a show. I'm
Yeah.
doing the show. We're doing the show together.
It's going to go well. And if it doesn't go well, we need to change everything about our lives.
We won't be brothers anymore.
And our parents are coming, and they won't be our parents. And we won't be brothers.
Disarray.
It's going to tear apart the family.
Don't kill.
We have to crush tomorrow. Tonight.
Tonight.
It's tonight.
Well, bro, I'm happy you're here. Always good to
man.
do an episode. We're going to keep it light, I think, here for the most part. And Andy picked these these situations. So, yeah, please rate, review, subscribe. Join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. And, follow us on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. Shanno's killing it. And we got to get an episode with Shanno.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
You know? Guys, we got a great app for you today. Our second story of the day. Would I be the asshole for not showing up to a wedding I'm part of without giving a reason? Interesting choice, Andy. But first, folks, AITA for not allowing my teenage son to have a smartphone.
Can I tease one more thing?
Sure.
I made a game that we're going to play.
Oh, I can't wait.
It's called R Improv or R Drugs.
Got it. And then I have to guess.
You'll have to guess if the post is from the subreddit improv or the subreddit drugs.
Got it. Well, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's really hard.
But first, folks, AITA for not allowing my teenage son to have a smartphone. I'm a single parent with a 14-year-old son. Recently, we've been having some disagreements about tech, and I'm starting to question if I'm being unreasonable. My son has been begging me for a smartphone for months, saying all his friends have one and he feels left out. I understand his desire to fit in, but I'm not comfortable with him having a smartphone. My main concerns are about online safety, cyberbullying, and potential distractions. I've tried to compromise by offering him a basic phone for calls and texts, but he's not happy with that. He says I'm being overprotective and that I don't trust him. I trust my son, but I also know how challenging the online world can be for teenagers. So, am I being an overly strict parent or AITA for not allowing my teenage son to have a smartphone?
It's 2024. I think at this point, you will be ostracized if you don't have a smartphone.
What do you mean? Just if I had a flip phone, you wouldn't be my brother? Like, what do you mean?
If you had a flip phone, not only would I not be your brother, I wouldn't like you as a guy.
Damn. Brutal.
No, it's hard. I feel like, and it's weird putting myself... I wonder how you feel too. Both of us, to an extent, kind of grew up as technology grew up. We kind of followed how the smartphone exploded.
Yeah.
I didn't have a smartphone. I mean, you probably didn't have it until even much later, obviously. But I didn't have a smartphone until like my sophomore year of high school. And at that point, my freshman year, I was one of the few kids who had like a flip phone. And it was kind of weird, but it was kind of funny. It wasn't like ostracizing. It was like, oh yeah, I got this like Nokia. It was like kind of silly. But I feel like now it's like noticeably weird in school. For high school, that's at the point where it's like we are entering the social world. Whereas younger than that, you don't need to be having these horrible apps. Obviously, a smartphone is bad. I don't know. It's tough because I really do. I mean, I wish I didn't have a smartphone. I wish I could exist without having to use these horrible devices that I'm just addicted to because of these companies.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the world we live in, and it's the economy, it's our social lives, it's sort of everything.
I mean, I'll throw a plug here to Freedom. It's an app called Freedom. I think it's like I paid $80 for a perpetual license. So you just pay it once. Works on all devices, Macs, Windows.
And what's it do?
iPhone. You just say, I don't want access to these websites. You can set a schedule. Like, yeah, you could technically override it. There's ways around it and stuff. You can delete the app or whatever. But like usually just setting that up just gets me out of that kind of this blind, pigeon, Skinnerian, like just pigeon, like pecking the screen insanely to get the reward energy. I'll gladly plug that shit. Yeah, I think I think the other aspect here is that high school is also kids are, it is cliquey. I mean, you're right. It is kind of like I can see kids like literally excluding you for less than this.
Yeah.
I can see kids excluding you for having a freaking Android.
Yeah.
I think I also just don't agree with the reasons. My reasons, I mean, he did say distracting, and I think that's fair.
These apps are like predatory and addictive and like
Yeah, he says online safety, cyberbullying, and potential distractions. So that, I mean, that is kind of
I
covered.
guess, yeah.
But I do feel like, look, it's a battle that you're gonna have to fight. And I agree with you that it's just gonna put your kid in a tough situation. And I kind of feel like give your kid a device and learn how to control it. There's screen time built in, which if you have a password that the parent controls, you'd be like, look, Instagram 20 minutes a day. I think that's reasonable.
It'd be another thing if it was like we can't afford it and like he should work for it, but that's not even coming up. Yeah, I just think it puts you too far behind if everyone else around you has one.
Yeah.
It's literally like a piece of language. It's everything now, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not like this wasn't true about desktops. Even though now we have addictive apps. I mean, I finally got my own desktop computer, and of course, I used it to consume adult films when I was 14 and 15 years old.
Whoa.
You know, I loaded them onto a USB drive because I had it in my room, you know.
On a USB drive.
Yeah, imagine that. To download it, you can just...
You torrent it?
Yeah. Yeah, and I would watch them in my room.
Yeah. We are different generations.
Yeah, man. We used to
I never had to
freaking
download shit
things.
for anything.
It's crazy. Yeah, we used to download songs, dude. We'd be like, finally got it.
Yeah.
And then there were some songs that they knew that people were pirating, and so you would play it, and you'd be like, I can't wait to hear, you know, Oops, I Did It Again. It'd be like, Oops, and it would burst your ears. Like, it was the most painful sound. They did good.
And who's making that? Is that like
The record companies.
the record did that?
Yeah.
It's like a way to stop it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
To trick you. Deeb 4905. These concerns are valid in 2010. You got to evolve. Smartphones, how we keep in touch. We work from it. Keep documents on it. That's your testimony that you keep documents on your phone. I guarantee they're in the cloud, if anything. Yeah, I mean, this person is listing all the utilities, and there are a ton, but I think the reality is it's just a battle he's going to have to fight. It's a battle we're all fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, some people have just been like, I'll just be on my phone all day.
Yep.
I was like that for a while, and it made me so unhappy.
It's a horrible machine, and I hate it.
I mean, you've deleted your Instagram. You're kind of one of those guys now, deleting, undeleting.
Yeah, it's horrible. It's nonstop. I deactivated for a while, came back.
I forgot you did that, and I saw our DM chain, and I was like, who is this person? Who was I talking to like this? This is so weird. Who is this? And I was like, oh, it's
my brother.
My brother, no wonder. NTA, I actually really wish I wasn't given electronics at a younger age, and now I had to break my addiction to them, writes Ancient Mix 5031. Treehouse Hunter, NTA, depression and anxiety are rampant with the current generation, and there's research linking technology to these outcomes. Consider getting him a smartphone, but compromise on usage.
It just seems like you're kind of afraid to parent about this, which I get. Like, it does seem hard. Put in some controls if you really want to like make sure they're safe. You gotta give it. He needs it. Everyone has one. This is the world.
Yeah, I think I would approach this as like, look, there's going to be strict. You have to create the discipline. I think this is a discipline thing too. I think so much of this and so many people just don't develop any sense of real discipline.
No.
And it's so key.
I don't have any.
Okay, I'm getting concerned. You gotta have discipline. You need to be aware of your discipline because, look, obviously you're not always gonna hit the mark. But I feel like so much happier and more in control, and I have more self-respect because I got the Freedom app, which helped me get off things, and like now I realize, you know, it was like a big thing when we were setting up. I said like I hid the time. I don't want to have any awareness of time. Flow state. This is my thing. I think a lot of people are just in a constant haze of distraction because we let ourselves be. And I don't blame us because these apps are literally the best drugs ever made.
Yeah.
They're built to addict you. And we were just talking about some of these little things like how many people watch my story. And it's literally they crafted it so that we would go check that. They know what they're doing.
They make their money by keeping our attention.
By sucking us in. So a lot, I now try to focus, and I know some people do like Pomodoro, and I honestly think it's a muscle, and you have to force yourself to work it. Like if it's writing or whatever productive task, like force yourself to go and do not look at the time because you're trying to flex the muscle of getting into the flow state, not thinking about the time, which is the phone obliterates this. And that's also why I think people are unhappy because flow state is one of the best feelings in the world. world. It's a great vibe.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going off here. I think in the end, this is a complicated thing. I think this person's objections are all valid. I think the son's perspective is valid. Somebody was bringing up, I think it was Dear Sophia. Both things are true. This is complicated, but I do think this is a 14-year-old person, and I think he deserves access to this, and he needs to be instructed on the issues. I mean, we were talking about this as well with our parents. We're concerned. We're talking about the tech scams.
Yeah.
It's like kind of just something you need to broadcast because people do fall for them.
People fall for them. And there's a lot of them. And they learn and they get more complicated.
They get more patient.
What was it called? The one that we were talking about?
Pig butchering. I've talked about it before, but the mark of the pig butcher is they'll message you for a week.
Yeah.
They won't even.
No mention of money or credit card, nothing. They're just messaging you until they finally learn that like you actually have money that they can get, and then they fucking get you.
It gets really complicated, but yeah, it's wild how patient they are, because I think classical scammers are like, email one, they're trying to get your bank information.
Yeah, and I just feel like getting the phone early is just, it's probably better to try to create that discipline young anyways. Like, you may as well like learn about all this stuff when you're 14 rather than the second he's 18 he goes and gets a phone and then like becomes like all of us with no discipline, addicted to our phones.
Yep. I think this is a parenting moment. I understand the instincts. I think everybody here is valid. I think this person has the best interest of the child at heart. I do think it's time to bend, but I think the rigidity all comes from a good place. Obviously, he's here soliciting it. I do think he would be the asshole if he continued to not allow him. So I guess AITA for not allowing my teenage son to have a smartphone. I am ultimately going to say YTA, but it's a very
it's
like
a soft YTA,
super soft. It's more like no assholes here, really. But you guys get it, guys. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.
I appreciate it.
Cool. It's nice of you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, you said we. I just wanted to make sure it's like I do too.
That's great, man.
In case you were referring to like Shannon or.
Got it. Yeah, cool. No, thanks for...
I just want to make sure everyone knows that I appreciate it too.
That's beautiful. Would I be the asshole for not showing up to a wedding I'm part of without giving a reason? By you throwaway.
I've shortened.
Oh, I was like, what a grab. They really got you throwaway?
It was like a throwaway name, so I was like, they probably don't actually want the credit.
Who cares?
And so I just wrote
random.
Yeah.
My 28F brother, 31M, is getting married in a few weeks to my best friend since childhood. 27F. They've been together for a few years, and of course, my best friend wants me to be her maid of honor. They've known each other for a long time since she was always hanging out at my house, but I didn't know they were close until I came home from grad school and found out they'd been dating. I thought they'd have their fun for a minute, then break up, and we'd all laugh about it someday. That's clearly no longer the plan. Because here's my problem. I'm in love with her. I have been since before I really knew what being in love was. For me, the sun doesn't rise the morning before I talk to her. She's the light of my life, dude. She doesn't know I feel this way, or if she does, then there's a reason she didn't say anything. I know she's straight. She knows I'm not, and I always expected to stand at her side one day while she got married to a man. I've accepted that. I know she loves me, but it's not the exact way I love her. As long as she's in my life, I'm happy, but this isn't just some guy I can politely ignore and forget about. It's my brother. If you're wondering, yes, he knows how I've always felt about her. Dude. We never sat down and spoke about it, but he's not an idiot, and here's when I talk about her. He's always been awkward mentioning their relationship around me, and extra much so when he pulled me aside a few months back to tell me he was proposing. I was hoping the feeling of betrayal would fade, but if I'm being honest, it hasn't. Still, I know he makes her happy and she makes him happy too. So I've done my best to power through all their conjugal bliss so far, but the upcoming wedding has just made it worse and worse. It'd be bad enough as a guest, but they want me to stand next to them to make a speech about what they both mean to me, to hand them the rings. All the while, my best friend has been gushing about how happy she is, how she can't wait to be his wife and have children with him. Every tiny little thing he does for her. And I can't help but feel that I was just really one chromosome away from being in his place. I feel like the little mermaid walking barefoot on glass and unable to say anything about it. I don't think I have the strength to be in that wedding. I'm already miserable. I've always been the fun one, but I just don't have it in me anymore. I just can't stand now either. She wouldn't understand, and I'd have to explain, which could only lead to a world of hurt. So I don't want to ruin this for them. She's still my best friend, and he's still my brother. Would I be the asshole if I just faked being sick or something on the day of and ditched the wedding?
Haven't we all been in a situation like this?
Yeah, I'm in love with your girlfriend.
What the hell, man? What the hell, dude? Well, you're gonna be my best man.
There we go. I have had friends say that you're hot, and I was like, I'm not comfortable with that at all. You're not going to be hitting on my brother, please. You can hit on his friends, but not him. That's
Not on
so
him.
weird. Actually, you know what? It was him they were hitting on. It was Justin that was getting hit on, not you. Sorry.
You confused me with your
Yeah,
brother
I
with
did.
someone else.
I did. Yeah. I
Okay,
don't actually
let me
think
just
one of
write
my
up an
friends has
AITA
called you hot.
fucking post about if I pissed about this.
If you're pissed, AITA, am I pissed?
AITA, am I pissed?
I'm not
Is this
sure.
situation making me angry? No, what a conundrum. She needed to get over this a long time ago.
How do you get over this? I mean, I have an answer.
The question is what first she needs to realize that they were always going to be just platonic friends.
I think she realizes that. I think she said as much.
You think she just
She said I was one chromosome away. She said I always knew I would stand by her side, but the fact that it's her brother, I think, is
it just can't be denied.
salt on the wound.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you can't be like pretend to be sick day of. Like you have to make this choice earlier. Like especially if you're the maid of honor, you're like ruining the wedding to an extent. Like you're causing a lot of problems at the wedding. She needs to not be the maid of honor.
I think so. I mean, I don't love this for her. I think she needs to step away. I mean, to me, this would just be gut wrenching, man. I've been involved in some unrequited love, and that shit is some knives right there, bro. I think I'd rather walk into a knife than deal with that one again. It's brutal.
Yeah,
And the only answer really is to get away from it all.
you gotta get away.
You know, like, and I do kind of think that I agree with you 100%. This isn't a day of ditch situation. I think this is the beginning.
It'll feel worse for you too, because then they're gonna be mad at you because you like ditch day of. Like you're maid of honor. Like you have a lot of stuff you're gonna have to be doing for them.
I think this is the beginning of what needs to be the end. And it's not the end of the friendship and keeping it cool and casual, maybe even a good friendship, but it's definitely, I feel like right now, best friends to me says primary. Actually, I had somebody say this to me and it stuck with me. I don't know who it was. They go, I don't use the term best friend because anytime I've called someone my best friend, it led to problems. And I was like, I understand that. There's something there.
Yeah.
It's kind of saying that person is my primary.
Yeah.
And I feel that this cannot be her this cannot be her best friend. She just can't be anymore.
No. How could it be?
Because it's not love too. Can I say that? If a guy said this is, it's a one-way street here. I'm in love with her. I would say, bro, you're not in love with her because she's not in love with you. That's the kind of love is kind of a mutual dance here. What you are is maybe infatuated. You're in love with the idea of her.
It's like she's marrying your brother.
It's not happening for you.
It's so over.
You need to accept.
It's hard.
I mean, and also we have never encountered this kind of poetry. I don't know that any situation. For me, the sun doesn't rise in the morning before I talk to her.
That's your sister-in-law.
You can't be like that.
You can't write that about your sister-in-law.
You can't be writing that. You need to get away. That's the only way to get away.
But do we go further back in time, though? Like, are we mad at the brother? The brother knew.
I know, but that I kind of feel
brother
like you don't
knew.
own anybody, bro. It's yeah, you can call it a betrayal, I guess, but like, is it a betrayal though? She was never had a chance.
Yeah.
She never had a chance.
But if he knew how she felt, I mean, even regardless, I mean, just like you said, like the idea of your friends hitting on me would be weird. Even if we removed the in love factor, if you married one of my friends, I'd be like, what the fuck, bro?
That would be a little weird.
It'd be weird. And imagine if it was also a betrayal. Be like, but you're my brother.
I mean, it would create distance.
Yeah. We don't have all the details on that. We don't know how they like got together really. But
Exactly. Like sometimes just like life happens. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you do comedy. Imagine I start doing improv again.
fuck you.
And then
You stay off my turf.
I end up on a team. By the way,
No!
this was so funny yesterday. Andy was like asking me for like advice on something and just citing the team names, the improv team names was killing me.
Yeah. Any team name.
He was like,
improv-
imagine you're on the Hippo Girls. I'm like, I don't want to do that, man.
No, but you're on the Hippo Girls and I'm on the Giant Guys.
I don't want to be on the Hippo Girls, man. What the fuck?
No, but they do a mono scene, Danny.
No, I hate
It's a
them
group
mono.
game mono scene. You'd love it.
If you don't know what a monoscene is, when you just they do one scene for an hour, nothing changes, just the same. We're all stuck in it for like an hour. I see you. It's fun. It's funny because somebody else is saying this about age gap relationships. They're saying like age gap relationships, if it happens, it happens, right? But if it's like pursuing it is gross. And I kind of feel like that applies here. I think there's something there. Intentionally going for something like that, obviously,
Yeah.
it's like, dude, why would you do that? But that's like, how far back do you go? You know, it's like, oh, well, you know, the girl, your best friend, you know, is having a party. Am I supposed to not go now? Like, where do you go?
Right.
Like, I'm having a birthday party. Should I invite your best friend? It's like, that's the kind of group activity.
Sure.
It's hard for me to ding. I also feel like, dude, it's love. Like, all's fair in love and war is what they say. And I'm wondering,
That's
like,
what they say.
if you really love someone and they, you know, and true love, hopefully the sun doesn't rise in the morning kind of love, it's hard to get in the way of that because of your one-sided fantasy relationship. It's kind of like, this is kind of a you problem.
Yeah, you kind of have to deal with this, unfortunately. We're too deep. This is something that you should have brought up earlier if it was really, really bothersome at the beginnings. Your best friend or your brother would have been valid either way. Like, I'd really rather you not, if you didn't date my best friend, like maybe you could bring that up. And the other way around too, it's like, you're my best friend. Can you not like date my family member? It's like kind of weird. But now they're getting married. So you can't be like, don't get married. It's like, you should have said this earlier because now we're getting married. We're getting married. It's over, man. I'm sorry.
I think you're right. I think it's over. I think you are crossing into asshole territory if you were like, look, I love you. I feel like that's not fair to her.
Yeah. And you can't bail day of. I don't think you're an asshole for bailing, but like you got to do it before. Especially it would not feel good to be like doing maid of honor things.
No.
Helping with the dress and the bachelorette party. That's way worse than being there at the wedding, I think.
I feel like the clean out here is just saying like, look, this has gotten really emotionally complicated for me. I care about you both, but I just don't think it's right that I'm the maid of honor. And maybe you could just downgrade to wedding guest.
Yeah.
And then you just need to make a conscious effort here. This relationship is effectively toxic for you. He's her priority. Like, that's the premise of a marriage, you know?
It's tough.
It's brutal.
It's a brutal one.
That spread 243. YTA, either go and suck it up or say it outright. Now you won't be going to ditch on the day as a huge a-hole move. You're right about that. United loss. Everyone is glossing over the fact that for years this woman has allowed another woman to believe they're just friends and played along that they're just friends when that wasn't the case. I mean, does that make you an asshole?
I don't think so.
I think it can be tough. You love that. Like, I do kind of think like it is kind of on the response. I do think it's the responsibility. I've had a few, I don't really talk about this with my guy friends, but I've had a few girlfriends who've been FWBs with guys and confessed to me things where I'm like, that's not okay. Like, you're dragging this man along and obviously he loves you. Like, I had this friend who was like, yeah, he loves me. She kind of was like bragging and I was like, he loves you? And she's like, yeah, he's just a guy I hook up with, but I think he loves me. And I'm like, that's so fucked up. It feels weird, but it's also like, that's on you. If you're the one who's not feeling love back and someone's in love with you, you need to stop having sex. They're not going to stop. They love you. They're literally crazy about you. Like, the onus is on you.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying we don't have that evidence that the girl knows, the sister, or not the sister, the wife knows.
Right. And they weren't having sex. They're just friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Candid collector, you would be the asshole if you're actually in the wedding party when you do it. If you can respectfully decline being maid of honor or even a bridesmaid, there's less disruption. Another option is go anyway and see if you can meet somebody new. Okay. What the fuck kind of movie ass answer is
I don't know.
this?
Maybe you go to the wedding and find the love of your life and they don't know anyone in your family and you guys just click and it's perfect.
That definitely is going to happen. Would I be the asshole for not showing up to a wedding I'm a part of without giving a reason? We, on the title letter rule, we are saying YTA. If you bail.
If you don't show up without giving it, that's YTA.
This is
you can not show up, but you got to say something. It's got to be earlier.
You need to make a conscious plan on how to approach this situation. All right, guys. Well, we're finally going to bring this thing home with Andy's game. I'm super excited about it.
All right, Danny. The game is R improv or R drugs.
Here we go.
So I'll be reading sort of a comment or a title or something from a post on Reddit from the subreddit R improv.
Which is about improv comedy.
Which is about improv comedy.
Got it.
Or the subreddit R drugs, which is about drugs.
Okay. I'm excited.
All right.
I can't imagine how this will be ambiguous.
R improv or R drugs?
Here we go.
Comment. I once watched a short form scene where there were no dialogues. And yet it was full of emotion. Is that R improv or R drugs?
I don't know if this is the easy opener that I'm supposed to get effortlessly, or if you search R drugs.
I once watched a short form scene where there were no dialogues.
There were no dialogues? That's weird wording.
And yet it was full of emotion. That's pretty cool. A scene where no one was talking, yet it was so
this
emotional.
going down at R drugs, man. But it feels like a trick question because it's too obvious. I'm going R improv.
Correct. R
Yes!
improv.
Whew.
Great job. Okay, here's a post. I got drunk and took a bunch of crystal meth.
Okay.
All lowercase. I got drunk and took a bunch of crystal meth. Is that R improv or R drugs?
I'm struggling to see the ambiguity here, Andy. This does definitely seem like R drugs.
Right.
Okay.
Is that your final answer?
Final answer.
Correct. R drugs.
Okay. So far, this is going great for
Okay.
me.
Hi. A friend of mine is getting married in July, and I am his best man.
Okay, this is a good one. This is a good one, dude.
I'm putting together a speech, around 10 minutes, which is coming together nicely. The only thing is missing is that I want to honor the groom's and bride's, I think, interest in improv. It's a big part of his/their life. And I'd like to give it a nod. I'm silly and creative, but have no experience of deliberate improv. My only idea so far is to do an anti-joke where I ask the audience to give me some specific prompts at the beginning and then just don't do anything with them. Is that from R improv or R drugs?
I'm detecting some kind of pattern here.
Sure.
I think for that one, I'm gonna go R improv, and I don't approve of the anti-joke thing where he takes prompts and then doesn't use them.
YTA if you do that
YTA?
at a wedding.
That's so
Don't do that.
annoying.
Don't do
I
that.
could be like, what happened to the things? Where's the things? He's getting off stage? No.
And he's never done improv
Make
before.
him come back up.
He's silly and creative, but he's never done improv before, but he wants to do it at the wedding.
And then he wants to take things from us and then not bring them back up. That's cruel. That should be illegal, dude. If you can't take 3 suggestions and use none,
You can't do that.
that's insane.
Not at a wedding. I've been getting high.
Ooh.
That's the beginning of the post.
Okay.
Any guesses from that? I've been getting high. ...
I mean, I'm actually leading our improv. It feels like I've been getting high before doing improv, kind of a structure there. Whereas you don't even need to say I've been getting high on our drugs. That's implied. Why
implied
else
if
would
you're
you
on
be
our
posting?
drugs.
Yeah.
I've been getting high ... is the title. From doing improv.
God damn it.
I'm a new student and I've
I don't want to do this anymore.
I've
Like
been-
comedy.
I've been at it only a few weeks. I feel so great after every class, and the feeling lasts for days. I hope it never ends. Thank you for letting me share.
That's cute.
That's nice.
Being it is fun to start comedy, especially improv.
It is fun.
It's very fun.
Yeah, improv's a fun thing. It's communal. You meet friends. You're being silly. If you've never done it, you're like, oh, I didn't know I'm allowed to like be silly for once.
It's such a riff on, I think, like a riff on like communal processes, like church and things like this are like a very staid, unfun version.
Not fun.
But it's like a riff on that somehow, and you
Yeah.
feel that it's a deep connection to humanity, to just being. It gets you into a different part of your brain, out
It
of your
does.
thinky
Flow
brain.
state.
Flow state.
Get you there.
Yes, flow state, baby.
Hey, so about that time I got caught jerking off in a backstage bathroom.
Ooh, okay. You would think. But see, improv, you're always hanging out with the team before.
In the backstage. You gotta do warm-ups.
You're always with the team, though. Why would you be alone? You'd have to
You're
really.
in the bathroom.
I guess, but what kind of person would do that? That sounds like someone who's on drugs, who's in a theatrical thing. They've got a small bit part. They're like 45 minutes into the play, and they just come out and go like, well, that's a bad idea if I ever had one. I'm going with our drugs.
Danny, you won the game.
Yes!
Our drugs. And that's the whole game, man.
Wait, do we have any context on what they were, though?
Nope.
Hey everyone, this is Andy, Danny's brother, just popping in right here to explain that now the banter will be happening. We recorded the banter before we did the situations, but I guess I'm hearing from Danny that that's not how things go anymore on this podcast. And I've been the one editing this, so now I'm sort of doing this little voiceover to explain why the banter is after, and if it's a little confusing, I'm sorry, I'm just taking orders. But thanks for listening, and you can follow me at Andy M. Vega. And if you don't want to, that's okay. But it's been fun, huh? I hope you like me more than you like Danny. Anyway, here's the sort of riffing and banter that two brothers had before they read these situations. Hope you enjoy. Have a great one.
I thought it was kind of cool that you wanted to go to donuts, ice cream, hot dogs, cigarettes today.
Dude, absolutely. I was craving it. Second I got here, I was craving it.
This guy actually wanted to eat 2 donuts, everybody. And I was like, I don't know if I can, as your older brother, just allow you to do that.
I think that's normal. I think most people want 2 donuts.
Of course, we all want 2 donuts, Andy. We all want that.
Yeah, we want that, and I want it. And I got time. I got time with this metabolism. I need to soak it up, dude.
Because you're 26.
I'm 26, and I don't have a lot of time left. And soon I'm going to have to be like you with all your grains and your materials in your kitchen that confuse me. And
you watch it. Nobody insults my grains.
You have so many grains, man.
They're also legumes and beans. I mean, I'm really into lentils now.
And powders. You got powders.
That's my protein powders.
This is what you said to me the other day. You said, hey, man, you want anything to eat? We got rice, quinoa, beans, protein, chia seed. I'm like, oh, my God. I don't want any of that. Oatmeal. You just listed every grain and bean possible.
I got quinoa.
That's all you have.
Amaranth.
Do you ever get sick? Do you ever like I'd be getting a donut every day.
I did that. That's when I first got here. There was the donut phase.
So you got it out of you and now you're in grain mode.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't make me feel good, and I need to feel good. I also have peanut butter flour. That shit's good.
Again,
that's
it's
fun.
Just another powder.
That's fun. So powder is
That's
good,
what I'm saying.
bro.
All you have is powder and like grain stuff.
Yeah, but you could mix the powder into the grains.
You made a crazy glob that I don't even know. You said this is made of some seed I've never heard of before, and you showed it to me, and you were like, "Does this look good?" And I'm like, "No, it looks like mud. You created mud."
It did look like mud. And there's a subreddit now called "This Looks Like Human Poop" or something like that. And it's food that looks like poop. And it could have not done great on the sub, but it could have hit. It could have gotten 25 upvotes.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, so mung beans are basically a subtype of lentil. I'm not really sure what they are, but I like these new lentils I'm getting into are really bland. Because
you have a specific lentil that you like because it doesn't taste good.
I used to be a green lentil guy, but those things, they're the star of the show, and I'm tired of that flavor.
Bro, we used to go to restaurants when we were kids, and you would get the craziest thing on the menu, and you would eat everyone else's stuff, and now you eat beans and rice.
And I feel incredible.
It's sad, just things have changed.
It's not sad. It's good. I feel good.
That's good.
I'm happier to be alive.
I'm happy you feel good.
I was eating the pain away, you know? But I don't know. I mean, it's for a reason. I'm not going to be this insane forever. It's 420's coming up, and that's my 10-year sober-versary.
Oh, cool.
Non-drinking.
Congrats, man.
So I want to post like a before-after pic.
This is all to get a good before-after pic?
Oh, I'm Andy. It's a big thing. It's a big change in my life.
I understand.
It was a fundamental change of a lot of things. I think it didn't fix all the problems, but it made me able to see the problems. And I think a lot of people live in a haze of food and substance abuse, which is not to say that I haven't had other issues besides alcohol, but I'm doing pretty good now. I'm in my fitness kick and my running and all that. And you're fucking that up by being here, by the way.
Whatever, man.
That's what I journaled today.
That I'm fucking it up.
I said this motherfucker is
everything
here.
was going just fine, but the second I step out of this room, he's out there.
I was like, yeah, this kid, he claims to be my brother.
I'm your brother.
No, but
10 years is crazy, man. Congrats. It's inspiring stuff.
thanks, man.
And that before after pick is going to change worlds. And it is good. It's good that it's, I'm not going to say it's a fake before after pick, but you're aiming for a specific goal for that after pick. It's produced. And I think that's actually a good thing.
Yeah, it's produced, sure. I mean, it was cool yesterday. So we went to a stand-up show yesterday. I was on the show, and this comic, so this comic didn't recognize me at all. And I was like a little taken aback because like I like a fair amount of his posts, and I feel like he had liked at least some of mine. And he just had no idea who I was at all. And I was like, I don't know, I'm a little thrown for you to have zero clue. But then he looked me up and said, oh, it's because you look so much better.
Yeah, he did. I heard him say that.
Game or was that real?
I thought that was real.
I thought it was real. And a girl complimented me recently. Now, this is interesting.
A what?
A girl.
Cool, man.
A woman.
That's awesome.
You could say. People have come to me with various opinions on what is a proper term here. Now, I would say she was a college-aged girl/woman.
That's awesome,
And
man.
what she said is...
She talked to you.
She talked to me.
She was talking to you.
To me directly.
Like listening, eye contact and stuff?
Well, it was Instagram.
Oh, online.
It's pretty crazy to get a
pay for
message. What's that?
Pay for it?
I didn't pay for it.
Oh, free.
She reached out to me.
No way. Organic.
Started the conversation, and she said that I look skinny. Now, I feel that this is a compliment more for girls. Guys,
You're trying to get big.
not really trying to look skinny. I mean, big, fit, lean. I guess lean really is male skinny, if I'm thinking about it a little clearly. So I ran this by some women. I was like, was this a neg? What was this? What? What's so funny about that?
Nothing, man. I'm just happy for you.
Are you happy? Why are you laughing at that? What's funny
You
about
ran
that?
it by some women. What does that mean? You put it in a group chat?
I asked my girlfriends. I was like, what does this mean? This girl called me skinny. I was like, it's just not really a compliment. I mean, it's like calling a man, it's not as extreme as calling a man beautiful, but it's just a little bit off key.
I think you're beautiful, man.
It's a little pitchy. That's weird. And I said pitchy, by the way.
But you like work out. You're trying to be muscle. You're like a strong guy now. You got protein, peanut flour.
Yeah, I guess you're right. So
You're not
saying,
trying to be skinny. That's why
skinny.
it hurt you.
I was trying to be skinny. Maybe you're right. Maybe this has nothing to do with gender and something to do with it. I don't think skinny is attractive. Skinny to me means you need to eat more food.
Yeah.
Fit is a good word. Lean, bean-like, grain-like. These are good words.
No.
Just good, fibrous,
high
protein person. Mung bean.
You look like a mug bean.
Thank you. Mung.
You're coming out like a mung bean.
Have you gotten any compliments ever?
Never.
That would be the real male podcast.
Never, man.
I hear they're good though.
Compliments?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel good.
I'm doing pretty well. People are kind of saying stuff to me sometimes.
You're getting a lot of DMs, man. Like happy, good ones.
Bringing in easily
That's cool.
1-2 DMs.
How many
a day.
story viewers you getting these
story
days?
views? Sometimes up to honestly, if I post a good story. I'll pull in. I don't know if you're mocking me sometimes, but about 500 is considered a banger story.
That's pretty good.
What do you think? What's a good story for you?
500's great.
I feel like this is something I've never discussed, and it's making me kind of
It's
queasy.
horrible. No, it's a bad thing.
But we
to speak
check.
out
We
loud.
do.
Of course.
Some people. I check. I'm addicted to Instagram. It's my only social media
horrible.
poison.
Mm-hmm.
I only really check it on my desktop, which I still check it 20 times a day. But just having it on the desktop, I'm like, I'm not going to go through all my. I don't know. I'll just open it and then I'm just like, did anyone new message? And then I'll close it. It's a very social media addiction. I mean, you're a Zoomer.
Yeah, I'm Gen Z technically.
And I guess you're on the cusp of millennial.
I think I'm on the cusp, but like a couple more years, I'm like a few years away from millennial, I guess.
And do you find in your peer group, well, you guys use like different social, like you guys are you're a big Snapchatter.
Yeah, I use Snapchat, but I'd say it's a divide. Like I think the younger Gen Z is really on Snapchat.
Okay.
The ones that make me feel like I'm cusp, they're on Snapchat.
What goes to your head when you speak to the people that are non-cusp? Like, what do you judge them for?
Probably Snapchat and their gambling addictions.
Gambling?
Dude, everyone's addicted to gambling.
What are you talking about?
It's a big problem,
Is this
man.
a joke?
It's not really a joke, but that's not what I really actually. I don't know the
What do you
answer to
mean
your
by
question,
gambling?
dude. DraftKings.
Oh, be like on sports games and stuff.
People are addicted to these
I have
things.
zero awareness of that. People your age are going in and like doing parlays, like
Oh yeah, I mean I have
all
lots of
kinds
friends who do that. I mean I've done it a little, but
Yeah.
I throw $50 in. I'm like, this is lit on fire.
$50.
$50, but I'll do it like once a year.
Oh, okay, that's not crazy.
Yeah.
Well, because I was in a casino for a week, and I think I lost maybe $30.
Yeah.
And by the way, these casinos, they're getting too expensive now. $25 table minimum? That's crazy.
That's too much. I just want to play cards.
Dude, we played the robot. The robot chick was actually pretty good. Like, she was pretty chill. She wasn't like killing us. It was $3 minimum. I'm like, here we go. Everything is too expensive, bro.
Everything's bad,
crazy.
man. Everything's bad.
Is that the energy? Because you're in New York, so now you're like officially cooler than me.
Sure.
Is New York still feeling? Are the vibes? What's the vibe in the city?
Dude, the vibes on the city's the best place in the world. You made a big mistake. You made a mistake coming here and staying here for so long.
I've been working on a bit about this, but you have to believe that New York is the best city
You have to,
in the
'cause-
world because it's so horrible and brutal to live there. It truly must be. Logically, it has to be.
It is the best.
You have
Because
to.
what else? Why else am I still here then? Fuck.
I think it's a great city.
I mean, prices are kind of up everywhere. At this point,
Yeah.
it's like kind of evened out.
It is a little crazy. That I do feel that to some extent. Like going to Phoenix used to be like, oh, it's a sale. Everything's on
It's
sale.
not like that
And
anymore.
now
I go
don't really
home,
feel
I'm
that
like,
way.
it's still Raising Cane's is still $14.
Chicken tenders. Fast food is like no longer cheap. Everyone's mad at Five Guys now.
Fast food's a rip.
I always thought Five Guys was mid too. Just like, what are you five people doing? I think spend more time here.
Get some more people back there.
It's there because their whole thing is like put toppings on it, and I'm like, well, no, but I don't want the toppings aren't going to make it better. It's kind of like how does the meat and the cheese really hit, dog?
But you don't. What other burger are you comparing it to? What's your
Mung bean?
burger? Right. So
Grains.
that's a mung bean. Mung bean. Mug bean.
Mung
Bean.
You're such a freaking lib, bro.
Dude, it's good to be here, man, in the city, Los
Yeah.
Angeles.
Thank you.
I landed and they put me on a bus to go to the parking lot where the Ubers are allowed to go.
It's so LAX is one of the most brutal experiences.
I wanted a coffee. I went to a coffee shop. I hate cold brew. The only coffee they had was cold brew. I'm just
You went
sick.
to a coffee shop where?
In the airport. I landed. I was like, I need coffee.
Wow.
And they only had cold brew. It was like 8 different cold brews and then tea. It was
8
like,
different cold brews.
yeah.
I
They're
mean,
all
at
like
least they're
flavored
stepping into
cold
it.
brews. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you. You're trying to make me hate my life.
That's too much.
Too
No
much.
hot coffee, no drip.
I think they had drip, but it was I'm in LA. I want iced coffee.
Oh, I see.
I wanted an iced Americano. Was my
And I
dream.
feel like they would have been like, well, sir, the cold brew is
No.
for the ice.
I'm sick of it.
We're
I'm
not
done with cold
icing
brew.
the drip.
I like ice drip. I'm pro ice drip.
Careful. What's your issue with cold brew?
I don't like it. I don't like how it tastes. It tastes different. It tastes different. I don't like it.
Okay.
And sometimes you order an iced coffee and they don't tell you that it's cold brew, and then they hand you cold brew and you're like, this is cold brew. I wanted iced coffee. And so now I get an iced Americano because that's reliable. I know it's espresso going in there.
Wow. You're like the weirdest kind of coffee snob. Never heard this angle. 'Cause I feel like cold brew is so like stanky, dank. I love it.
It's like metally.
Yeah, it
It's like
can be if it's poorly
metallic.
made. Sometimes
like-
it's too watery too. When it's watery, it's
I
nasty.
don't like it, man.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm not necessarily in the same position, but I hear you, and your feelings are valid.
We got too big of a donut today,
I didn't let you get to. I pushed you toward an apple fritter with crumbs.
and it was huge. And she
It's-
asked, you want a small or large? I said large.
You said large.
And it covers an entire plate.
An entire like dinner plate, and
I don't feel good.
you ate. And it's interesting because you ate half of it, but there was
Uh-huh.
still 3/4 left. That's how big it is. It's just so big.
Yeah, the fractions change as you eat
It's
it.
unbelievably big.
It's so big.
I mean, I have material about apple fritters because the apple fritter, it's not only a big donut in terms of land mass, it's dense. It's just
really dense.
significantly more dense than any donut
It's
by
interesting.
a lot.
It has lots of textures in it. It's soft, it's hard, it's sweet, it's gooey. I love sugar, man. I don't know how you do it here.
With I only use artificial or what I use this green one. It's like a stevia riff. I don't know what it is really.
Yeah, it's like climate change Splenda. And I don't like that.
Yeah, you're right. It does have like a sustainable, environmentally friendly leaf on it.
It does.
You're like, this must be good.
This must be good. It's not. It's made in the same factory as all the others.
Yeah.
No, I think I have a sugar problem.
Okay.
I think I have a sugar problem. And
you said that already, yeah.
I think I have one, like a problem about sugar.
Right.
I just like it, man. I want it all the time. It's so good. It's so sweet.
Okay, it started selling a sugar ad.
Oh, it's good.
What?
Man.
How? Give us a level. Like, how bad in are you? I mean,
I'm always getting candy.
Candy.
I love candy.
Andy, you can't eat candy.
You always say
That's
shit
crazy,
like that to me.
bro.
Why not? It's good.
That's crazy.
It's good. You get like
can't
a
eat
gummy candy. It like feels like arteries, but it's like delicious.
arteries.
Well, that's the thing I've been thinking about. It's like, why is this texture so good? Is it because it's like a vein, like in my like animal
Like
brain?
this primal animal.
What is that? It's chewy. I love it.
I think it's just it's nice to chew stuff.
Okay.
Kind of get an interesting texture.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's that your brain is reverting to the primal flesh-eating state.
Because it's so sweet and delicious.
You eat candy
every day.
every day.
Yes,
so
dude.
what? So give me an example of like a typical candy day.
Well, at work, I used to steal, like, they used to have a bunch of gummy candies, and I would take a fucking handful and I'd eat them. Or I'll usually try to find a weird candy, because in the bodegas now, they have all the experimental candy. Like, Nerds always has a new thing. There's always a new thing to try. I like high chews.
Oh, I love high
I
chews.
love a high chew. I love a gummy snack.
High chews are really
High
good.
chews are good. It's like, how do they pack all that flavor in there?
They're just so chewy.
They're
They have the
so
exact
chewy.
right amount of chewiness.
It's like gum, and then by the time you're like, I'd be done with this, it's over.
Yeah.
It's
They
good.
nailed the chewy levels.
They nailed it.
I mean, it makes me sick. It's probably making you sick. I mean, you're young, so maybe you can just power through. But like, I had a pack of high chews, and I was like phlegmy, and I felt sick for like a day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I need to start tracking like my physical ailments.
I think you're young now. I think once the 20s wrap up, your body starts to be like, dude, like, what are you doing?
I know, and I don't want that.
You
I
just
don't
start
want
fi-
gung
just-
meat.
Next time you
I
get a
don't
high
want
chew,
gung meat poop juice that you drink, bro. I want
It's
nerd
not-
clusters and fucking
that's
Reese's.
horrible. That's horrible.
It's so good.
It's so processed.
How come the donut doesn't like fill me up for the day and like give me energy and I feel good?
Because it has so much sugar that your body's like, dude, we need to turn off. That's literally what your body's like,
Sucks,
dude.
man. It's bullshit. And
Dude.
cold brew's $8. And I didn't even want it. On the plane yesterday, I really wanted a coffee, and I was listening to this podcast search engine. I was scrolling through episodes I downloaded,
Yeah.
and there was one called "Is It Safe to Drink Airplane Coffee?" And as the drink cart started moving, I clicked it, and I was like, "Hurry up,
Get to it, get to it, get to it.
get to the answer."
And
I got a Pepsi because I wanted sugar.
dude, oh my God. I was literally having the thought the other day, which this is LA bubble energy, but I was like, who drinks soda anymore?
I drink
It's
it on
just-
planes. I'll have it on a plane. I don't drink soda like regularly
Interesting.
because I'd rather have candy that I can chew.
I'm getting sick, bro. I can't even talk about candy this much, dude. This is so nasty.
I love it, man. I'm the candy man.
You're
I'm
Andy,
Andy
the Candy Man?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
Yeah, dude. It's important.
It's not important, bro.
It's-
Don't go that
It's
far.
one of my values.
No, Andy.
It's one of my values.
Is your girlfriend okay with this?
Yes, man. We
She
get
eats
each other
candy?
candy. It's good.
You get each other candy.
She gets me candy sometimes. And I go, I'm big happy. I get big happy.
Oh my God, bro.
nice.
I feel irresponsible platforming you,
Dude, I don't have much time left. It's like I have to enjoy
You have
candy.
to.
And eventually the doctor's going to be like, no more.
He's going to say mung beans and peanut flour is your new destination.
That's going to suck. A mug
No, it's
bean.
Mung.
It's hard to say, man. I'm trying.
Mung. And you called it dung, and that hurt my feelings. They're really good beans. They're neutral and high protein.
I'm sure they're pretty good. I just can't eat it in the pace that you had it.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
I would have it with some rice and like other stuff.
I know about rice. It's just, it's rice. Gotta be. Ugh, rice. Ugh. I could talk about rice the way you talk about candy. Ugh, I
That's
could just
crazy.
annihilate just so much rice.
What kind of rice?
Just, white rice. It's
Like
like
you just have it plain?
Well, no, I throw a little salt on there. It's
A
heavenly.
little salt?
Bro, it's so good. It's just like, it's basically donut. You know what I mean? It's like little granules of donut. Just this nice, clean carb. Nom, 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 nom.
You've changed, man.
I guess this is kind of podcast lore, but it's interesting. I didn't like our last episode. We sat next to each other,
Mhm.
not facing each other, and so
Yeah.
it took a lot more time. But we set it up to face each other.
I think this is better.
What a difference!
Yeah.
I have no idea how long this. I don't know anything.
I don't know where we are.
I know what time it is. I hid the time now on my Mac. Can't see
Really?
the time.
I didn't look either.
I'm against time now. I think time is the enemy. And I have a neurosis where if I set an alarm, right, because I'm trying to do like 80 minutes straight of writing, my brain will make up this story where it's like, you didn't set the timer right. It's
Mhm.
never going off. You're going to die here. And so now I set 2 timers. And so now there's nothing I can do.
Yeah, that's
There's
smart.
nothing my brain can say.
The Mr. Beast. I was trying to find Mr. Beast AITAs and I couldn't find any. But it's like when he's in the torture room.
The isolation chamber
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
He doesn't know what time it is.
He sets double.
Well, no, but just the fact he just doesn't know and he's guessing and he's wrong.
Yeah.
Time.
Time.
It's time related, Mr. Beast related. We should do some Mr. Beast reaction videos.
Yeah.
Mr. Beast
I don't know what
content.
we can say that's relevant. I mean, if you guys don't know, Mr. Beast is like the king of YouTube, and all his videos are like, I spent a week in an isolation chamber.
Yeah.
And
I was on the middle of an island and I found an orangutan and taught it how to live.
he's the king of YouTube. But yeah, he really spends a week in complete isolation and gets very off about what day it is. Oh, and he also set it up so that there's no regularity to the food, so there's nothing
Oh my
to give
God.
him.
Yeah. I mean, he tortures himself.
He basically tortures
You have to
himself.
respect it.
You do. I
Even
mean,
if you have any other sort of criticism of him, it's like, but he tortured himself though.
he did. And he doesn't torture other people. Like, he made 2 people live for what now, 90 days? 90 days and basically like it's pretty brutal because the lights never turn off.
Oh yeah, it's a TV studio. Lights don't turn off.
Oh,
That's always the thing they want. They want to go to dark.
darkness.
You need darkness, man, to sleep.
Just light constantly.
Ugh.
Anyway, but yeah, thanks guys for joining us. Really appreciate you. Much love to all y'all, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Now we're gonna try to harmonize here. Ready? Bye. Great.
Watch you for a lifetime. You're my favorite movie.
Okay.